What's really strange is I don't even feel any of that.
Well, I'm just kind of
Wow.
scraping the dead skin off
Yeah.
the surface, so that wouldn't normally hurt anyways.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So when you were talking about when I had the big toe removed 2 years ago and causing the other bones to basically collapse or dislocate.
the joints there, yeah.
Yeah, which caused the problems with the ulcer and then not healing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a common thing that happens. Why aren't people aware of that? I was never aware of that.
Well, it
Maybe
depends.
it's not common knowledge or something.
It's not common knowledge because it's not like removing a big toe is a common thing we have to do.
No, it's
But
not.
it happens often enough that we recognize the potential for consequences,
Right.
and we're typically the specialists that deal with those consequences.
Right.
So we're probably going to be most familiar with that.
That's true.
But it's definitely something that is fairly common after that big toe has to be removed. And it's generally not just from the toe itself, but it's when the bone behind the big toe, that metatarsal bone.
The metatarsal.
Yeah, when some of that's removed, that's when it really is something that'll set you up for other problems. But
So that's what it was. It was just like that whole big joint and everything was removed. God,
and when we do it, we don't really have a choice.
I know.
And to remove the whole foot, or all the toes just for a problem there is certainly pretty drastic, pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
So we don't jump to that
Unless it's that bad. Yeah.
So what we hope to do is to control the foot and the pressure distribution with proper shoes and insoles.
Oh yeah.
And prevent you from having those second toe problems. But
the orthotics were all real good and stuff, but it still just became like.
You just tend to overpower them.
Yeah.
So it's something that certainly happens often enough that sometimes it goes this direction. But with what we've done here now, as long as this continues to heal properly,
Absolutely.
your risk of problems now will be far, far less. And hopefully you won't have to deal with anything like this, at least
no
on
more
this
nightmares.
foot.
Yeah, it's been. I guess I don't know. It's just been kind of a nightmare, but I'm just trying to, be positive and stay faithful and try to get through it.
Yeah.
My mom's worried, and I told her, I said, look, if you have questions, call a doctor. I mean, he's awesome. He'll explain things to you too.
Yeah,
I think she
no
worries.
problem.
And I said, I don't have a problem with it at all. Only my daughter, she's 31, she's the same way. She's real concerned. She just wants the best care for me. She's quite my protector.
Oh, good.
Comes by it honestly. She's a community corrections officer in Walla Walla. She works with not with the inmates, but the ones that are who are going through the community. And I guess they don't like to be called offenders now. I guess they're called students.
Oh, is that how they do it?
Oh man, talk about politically correct weird. It's like, just call it as it is. I mean, of course they made a mistake, but if they do better, well, okay. But they're changing all the language. My daughter said they're going to have to go through documents to make this change in the wording, just for one word. I went, well, somebody will have job security for a while typing all that up.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
All this stuff with gender now too is becoming such a
it's getting out of
issue.
control. I mean, I'm not offended. I mean, I'm old school. It's like people just take offense to every little thing. And it's like, come on. Some of you just gonna have to not worry about it. But people are really hyper focused on some of it.
It's only as big a deal as people make out of it.
Exactly. like the type, like a mom saying, look, you need to make a better choice not to shit off.
Right.
And I guess you can't do that. Or you can't grab their shoulders and shake and say, what the hell's wrong with you? So that's not a job for me. So I told her, I said, you're doing awesome. And then she also had me one of the jobs for firearm instructors, which I thought was pretty cool. I said, where did you get all this talent for firearms and stuff? She says, practice, Mom.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right. I was like, so I told her she's a pretty badass. She carries a gun, a taser, handcuffs, and wears a bulletproof vest and works with the police.
Oh wow, yeah.
The whole office just for the corrections officers. They all wear bulletproof vests, including the secretary.
Wow.
All have guns. I was like, wow, is this really necessary? You just never know.
Yeah.
You
Not
just have
until you
to.
need it.
That's it. And hope for the best and prepare for the worst. I went, holy Moses, is it becoming like the Wild West? Pretty scary. Pretty amazing stuff. She tells me some of the adventures, and I go, girl, you gotta write a book. Just change the names to protect the innocent or guilty or whatever. I said, your stories are just like, wow, there's an English page. So I love narratives. I love when people tell their stories, especially the older people. And they're pretty humor. And that's some cool stories. It's just fascinating. As long as it's positive. It's making antibiotics on every 6 hours. Nothing should be growing in there. As I told Valerie, the nurse, I said, I don't think the infection's going to come into play at all here.
That's what we're aiming for,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so far everything looks great. So, there's always some chance that there might be a little something kind of hiding somewhere, and
Oh, yeah.
that's really what the antibiotics at this point are for, because we know the bulk of the infection, we were able to remove it.
We removed it, yeah. I bet that was not a pretty sight.
Well, it's never pretty per se, but I've seen a whole lot worse.
Really? Like gangrene or?
Did you see that?
Oh my.
Gas gangrene or necrotizing fasciitis, those are serious, life-threatening, limb-threatening type infections,
Shoot. That is scary.
and they often start in the foot. This thing looks like it's doing great and is healed up real nicely everywhere except right in this one last little spot. We're really close. I think one more week we'll be there. All this stuff, you can see, like we were hoping, is all healing up underneath.
Right, got the good skin there.
Dead stuff is just going to peel off of here. And you're well on your way. So
Just that one little spot.
just that one little spot here. Otherwise, I think it's looking really good.
Oh.
So let's get you back in about a week,
Okay.
and those last couple stitches we can take out of there at that point.
Wow.
If you want, you can even start to get this thing wet now.
Really?
So no bath, no
Oh, no.
hot tub, no swimming pool, but a shower.
Shower.
It's okay. Which means you have to change the dressing.
Yeah.
Okay, but the dressing at this point that you need is very small and simple.
Uh-huh.
Just a little band-aid over the end to cover the spot. The rest is fine.
Okay.
Okay?
Maybe just make a note of that for the nurses.
Do that.
So
They
they
start
are
to
all.
do that. And it also means that we're also concerned about pressure on the bottom now.
Yes.
So for transferring and standing, you can start doing that too.
Wow. This thing is healing. Just kick butt.
It is healing.
Whoa. Holy Moses. That's. Because that's a concern my mom has. She says when gonna be in a wheelchair for a long time? I said, well, certainly hope not.
No, that is not the goal. That is
No.
temporary.
That's just a temporary thing.
And then we can start getting you out of that thing, like I said, basically anytime.
Get me stronger. I said, Mom, the goal is to restore me back to as close to what I had before, you know. I said,
Right.
I want to go backwards, I want to go forwards.
The only thing to watch when you remove this, don't take it off like whoosh,
Oh, no.
gently.
I don't like doing that. I never like that. Never like that.
Yeah, well, in some situations it's fine, but what we would be concerned about here is if it was kind of stuck to one side of the incision and you pull on it real hard, it's still maturing, it's still regaining strength, so it might
yeah.
kind of pull it open a little bit, which we'd
We
rather
wouldn't
not.
want, no, that doesn't
So,
sound too fun.
remove it gently,
Yes.
shower, reapply.
Okay.
Okay, just a big band-aid, just that black area at the end where there's still a couple stitches, that's really all we have to protect. This stuff can be exposed now.
So it's okay.
This is healed. There's a bit of scab left, but it's healed.
Holy Moses. That is just the best news. You just made my day.